Welcome to Jones and for Sports, where we make sports better.
What is good, y'all? This is a Locker Room Sunday, and as always, I am your host, Jones, and today we have a very special edition. Like I said, we were going to bring our fans on to talk about their team, their draft, and now that the schedule is out, also their schedule and whether they think it's tough or not tough. And we got a Locker Room Sunday alumni, my guy, Nick. What's up, Nick?
What's good, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm excited to have you back on. It's always a pleasure to have you back on and talk about some football. You're a Chicago Bears fan.
Absolutely.
Draft just happened. Now we got a release of his schedule. I took a peek at that. Let's first start off with the draft. How did you think your team did this draft? First of all, let me just say this. I love the Justin Fields pick. Just got to throw that out there. Go ahead.
Man, to tell you the truth, this is probably the first draft as a Chicago Bears fan that I couldn't complain one pick.
That's
especially the first two picks. Like, obviously, we knew even though signing Andy Dalton, the Bears are twinning at QB1, all that kind of stuff. And
right,
we still know the quarterback spot's a problem. And obviously, our offensive line was a problem. Mm-hmm. So the first two rounds, they traded up just to get those two spots filled. Man, I loved it. And we drafted a sneaky, speedy wide receiver late in the later rounds again, just like we had Darnell Mooney last year. He's gonna blow up this year, especially if a quarterback like Justin Fields is starting. Man, I'm excited. I'm really hyped. And you could see after the Bears trading up to get, Justin Fields, look at what Eddie Jackson was posting on social media. You look at all the Bears players. Eddie Jackson was literally like throwing shade. Andy Dalton and Mitchell Trubisky pretty much said, we finally got a quarterback.
Yeah, pretty much. He pretty much was throwing shade. You're right. So, what grade would you give your team?
I'm gonna give it, honestly, I'm gonna give this one an A. Like I said, I got no complaints at this Bears draft. Like, obviously, when the Bears traded up literally one pick years ago, us Bears fans like, dude, it's Deshaun Watson. It's got to be Deshaun Watson. Because obviously nobody was really talking about, like, Patrick Mahomes was being talked about, but nobody saw what he's doing right now is coming, right? So everyone was like, Deshaun Watson's by far the best quarterback in this class, blah, 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 blah. And they traded up to take a guy that had 8 career starts instead of a resume like Deshaun Watson's.
Right. Exactly.
To me, I'll never understand it, but I am very happy with Justin Fields. I was very nervous, though, when we traded up. I'm like, bro, we really finna take an unmobile Mac Jones. I think he's going to be solid in New England, though.
Oh, yeah. That was a good fit for him.
Like, that's the perfect fit for him because you see what Bill Belichick has done with Tom Brady. And Tom Brady was never a mobile quarterback. And Mac Jones is the same thing. Like, they're both very accurate with the football. And they're not really mobile. And Bill Belichick knew how to use Tom Brady. He's going to know how to use Mac Jones. Absolutely. So that's the perfect place for him because I felt like if he got picked like real early in the draft, like some of these experts, some of them thought he was going to San Francisco.
Right.
Any other team besides the Patriots, I would tell you that he's going to be the biggest quarterback bust in the draft. But since he got picked with New England, I think he's going to be great in New England.
Yeah,
so
I agree with everything you said. I think that's perfect. He fell to the team that was supposed to pick him up, where he's going to be a perfect fit. Belichick is going to do wonders with him after, once he gets ready to start and shit like that, especially with all the moves that Belichick made. But getting back to Chicago and you saying that you're giving your team an A, I have no problems with that because I gave my team an A. And one thing that I noticed with, I did a Twitter poll about asking, fans what they thought about their teams, draft picks and stuff like that. And over 55% of them picked A's. So out of 348 votes. So
yeah,
people were very excited about their draft picks and what their teams did, which is good. I think just watching the draft, we did a live on Instagram, and that went well. And just from everyone that was involved and just watching it, I didn't have too many complaints with the teams that made the moves that they made. There was a few head scratchers, like my team trading with the Eagles of all teams. I didn't understand that, to go get Devontae Smith. I mean, I didn't understand that. That's a weapon for them to use against us, but that's the
Cowboys. Dallas's first round pick. That guy's probably the best defensive player in the class in the draft. Absolutely. And Dallas, obviously their offenses have always been loaded. It's just their defenses has just been a problem. Like they've had some studs, but like a lot of their stud defensive players just haven't been healthy.
Exactly.
That's just been a big problem. So that kid go be special. And I have to give a shout out to my high school teammate, Greg Newsome, to be the 26th overall pick in the draft by the Cleveland Browns. I am very excited to see him. I think it's the perfect fit for him, because he's going to get a lot of playing time on a very good team. And he's going to learn from guys like Denzel Ward. Like, they got some dogs on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball. And he's going to be he's going to be guarding like Odell Beckham Jr., Jarvis Landry, and them boys, like every practice. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to think about.
That's what's up. Shout out to your high school teammate, man. That's dope. Yeah. You don't normally get to see that, but that's pretty dope that he is living my dream, at least. So shout out to him, and we all wish him the best of luck out there. Now let's get into the schedules. The schedules were just released just a couple days ago. And your Chicago Bears, they made some moves this year to better their team, but their schedule is pretty tough.
It's a problem.
It's pretty tough. What are your thoughts on this?
Man. Well, look at what's going on week 1. We play Sunday night against the Rams.
That's tough.
Oh, man. But, week 2 is pretty easy. We should handle Cincinnati. Like I said, though, it's any given Sunday, though, so you never know. But we should beat, because after that, we got to go to Cleveland.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We got one of the best teams in the NFC on paper, because now they added, Matthew Stafford at the quarterback spot. That team's nice. And then Cincinnati, and then Cleveland, honestly, on paper, I think they're the best AFC team that could give Kansas City a run for their money next year. I really believe either Cleveland or Buffalo, but I think Cleveland's going to be better, especially now their head coach, offensive coordinator, that was like their first years last year. They're going to be more comfortable. And I think Odell Beckham Jr. is so motivated this year. You're going to see the New York Giants Odell Beckham when he was 23, 24 years old. I think you're going to really see that. And they have the best offensive line in football, and you got the best 1-2 punch at the running back spot. You got Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt both rushed for over 1,000 yards last year. And I think they've been playing the Baker Mayfield strengths, with the rollouts and things like that. That's when he's at his best. And you still got a guy like Jarvis Landry. And people keep forgetting that they have one of the best tight ends in football in Austin Hooper. Yeah. He's a baller too. So they literally have no weaknesses. They have like the perfect offense you could possibly have, besides Kansas City's. But and then I just pray to God that Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay. That would help us a lot more if Aaron Rodgers could get himself to Denver or San Francisco, all the rumor teams that are involved. But man, we play Tampa Bay again. San Francisco is going to be nice. And we got Pittsburgh Monday night, and you got teams like Arizona. They got a lot better on paper this year. We got Baltimore. I think Minnesota is going to be even better. And then we got to go at Seattle 1 week. Yeah, dude.
We got Cardinals as well. The Giants. Tough, very tough outing for you guys.
This is a bad draw for us. So
it really is. That's tough. But one thing I will say, depending on the Aaron Rodgers situation, if he gets moved or not, and see who their Obviously, they're going to probably move on with Jordan Love as their quarterback. So you might get lucky there, and if he's not there, you might get 2 wins out of that. But
hey, they also just
solid
signed
team.
a veteran. Yeah, they just signed a veteran cornerback. They just signed Blake
Right,
Bortles like
which is
yesterday or
interesting.
2 days ago. Yeah.
Which is very interesting for them to sign another quarterback. So that means things might not still be headed in the right direction for them. Obviously, we'll keep an eye on that. And when when news breaks, you're going to hear from Jones for Sports first. But so what do you have a record?
I think we're going to go either 8-9 or 9-8. We're going to play 500 ball.
Okay. Okay. I see it possible.
Yeah.
I'll be the devil's advocate, and I'm gonna go. I think you guys are gonna go. Maybe 7 wins tops.
I know the line right now for the Bears is 7.5.
Yeah. That's you guys got a real tough schedule, man. Real tough schedule.
I think we're going to be a better overall football team, though. Even our record might not be so great because I think, well, depending on when we start Justin Fields and stuff like that, but I think the defense is going to it won't be the 2018 version, but I think this is going to be their best defensive year since that year. The last couple of years, we've really struggled offensively. We've been going through a lot of, 3 and outs, and we have to put the defense right back on the field. Yep. And that's why, they've fallen in the rankings defensively just because they haven't been able to get breaks because we haven't been able to score. We haven't been able to, we just haven't been able to score at all and haven't been able to have at least a couple first downs, at least give these guys a few minute break, and these teams' strategy is, we know their offense ain't going to do nothing. We just got to play ball control football, get a couple first downs and run the clock and don't turn over the ball to the defense.
Right.
That's why the Bears barely had any defensive turnovers because teams have played very cautiously because they know that if they go 3 and out, they got no problem punting the football to Mitchell Trubisky.
Yep.
So
that's a good point. It's a good point. And obviously that's something that they're going to want to change this upcoming season. You got Andy Dalton and you got the rookie. Now, obviously, for someone that has experienced Andy Dalton and our team last year, it's not too bad. So it's definitely an upgrade from Trubisky. I think he'll be able to run that offense. And if he can do good, if he can have a good start to the season, I think that the guys will just rally behind him because, they haven't had a good quarterback in so long. So when stuff like that happens, it starts to get the ball rolling. But then again, you got a tough schedule.
It's tough. And, the craziest thing is like the Bears' best quarterback in franchise history is Jay Cutler.
He brought
how
you guys to an AFC championship, correct?
He brought it to the NFC championship game. And that was the game in the second half when he didn't want to play because he was hurt and he was the one biking.
On the bike. Yeah. I remember that.
Run the bike and his leadership skills. I mean, you look at ex-players like Brandon Marshall and a lot of these old Bears players that came out and said Jay Cutler was the worst leader we've ever had.
Yes.
I mean, like that's how bad the Bears have had it at quarterback.
Yeah.
If your best quarterback was a guy that was considered one of the worst quarterback leaders,
that's bad.
That's just how really bad we have had it. And we've had think about this too. Like we made it to the Super Bowl. We had Kyle Warren and Rex Grossman.
Yep.
We made it all the way to the Super Bowl with that.
That was against Indy, right?
Yeah, that's the game when the Bears choked. They were up 14-3.
Yeah.
And then Rex Grossman wanted to fumble the ball 6 times.
Goodness great. Can't do that. Not in the Super Bowl. Yeah. Absolutely not.
That was that rainy game in Miami.
Yes, it was. I remember that. It was a good game, but a lot of people didn't like it because it was raining and shit like that. Yeah. But my other question for you is, what are your thoughts on the extra added game? What do you think about that?
I'm not a fan.
I'm with you.
It's just, and now you have to worry about fantasy football another stressful week added.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Holy shit.
Because now everything's going to get pushed back.
Oh
week.
my God, that's a good point. I didn't even think about
I
an
know
actual
everybody be doing
rest.
their big money league fantasy football and things like that. So, man, I don't know if I'm going to pick many Bears players after looking at the schedule, to tell you the truth.
I hear
I
that.
mean,
But
well,
no, to your point about the schedule, I think it's the added game. I'm not a fan of it because these guys are already going through a lot just during the season. They're asking for less games, and you add another one. I mean, I hate it, but at the same time, I understand that it's gonna do. It's good for the fans. It's good for the money and shit like that. Obviously, they lost a lot of money because of the pandemic. So
yeah.
hopefully, it's just a test run that they're doing, and this is not edged in stone. But I don't like it because I know that injuries are definitely going to be a part of it, and we already seen what it costs.
Yeah.
So
Exactly. I hate all the rule changes, not just in football. You see what's going on in baseball since last year. Like when you have a doubleheader, I can't stand this only 7 innings of doubleheaders. I can't stand it.
right,
And
right.
I also hate like in the 10th inning now you start off with a runner on second base.
Yeah, what is that?
Oh my God. It's
What
just
is
not baseball. Like
It's not baseball at all.
oh
That's
man.
yeah, they I don't know. They're trying to, switch it up, but you can't do it like that. You got to at least keep everything somewhat original. You can add tweaks, but that's just too much. You're gonna
Yeah.
Since when did they ever, thought about doing something like that? But
Yeah.
we'll get into that on another day on the MLB Take It Deep podcast.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. I think I had another question, but I can't remember it. So we'll move into the last part of this episode, which is my favorite part, which is where we give you the plug, you give you the floor to talk about what's going on. We know you are with NABL, which I've been watching you. I've been on Twitter, seeing what you've been doing, and you're killing it. So I just want to give you your flowers now and let you know I'm proud of you. That keep going, man. Like you're inspiring a lot of people, and what you're doing is amazing. So let the people know what you're doing for those that don't know and what you got going on right now.
Yeah, man. I appreciate everything you just said. And, obviously enables the National Ability Basketball League. And what this league is, for the people who don't know, is obviously it's going to be the first ever professional basketball league for special needs kids, where they could get paid to become a true professional athlete. They could work on their craft every single day, and they don't need another job. They don't have to worry about anything else in life. Just the game of basketball, just like, these NBA players and all other professional athletes out there and things like that. So
Awesome.
we give these kids an opportunity where they could do something for themselves, right? Because you see a lot of, kids with disabilities, like after they get out of transition programs and things like that, like you see the jobs that they're only getting, that society is only letting them have, right? It's all the minimum wage work, right? You see they're working at like restaurants, they're working, at gyms, folding towels and like grocery stores and things like that, which is great that those jobs are giving these kids so they can at least somewhat live like a normal life, because they can actually like work and, actually get paid and things like that. But the biggest problem is, they can't survive on their own for those jobs, right? They always have to rely on other people to do the work for them. But my league, they could have the opportunity to do the work for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And and this could like potentially like this league, if it like grows bigger and bigger and bigger, like they can make enough money where they could help their families.
Right. Exactly.
You never know, because like you see a lot of these, parents that have, a kid with disabilities and things like that. They can't really work full time, or their schedule is very hard because they always got to be there for their kid. Like they can't leave them by themselves and things like that too. So, they're struggling too. Like as a family, you struggle normally when you have a kid with disabilities in your family. Like I have a younger brother with autism, things like that. So I see, his challenges every single day,
right.
And now that I've been in talks with so many different kids with disabilities my whole life and things like that. You get to learn more about the special needs community, not just like autism, but Down syndrome, Asperger's, the list goes on and on and on. And, these kids deserve so much, and they're very intelligent too. Like, for example, like my younger brother, he could honestly be the manager at Best Buy. he is the smartest person in his house when it comes to technology. I'm not kidding.
That's what's up.
Like if there's something wrong with the TV, I tell him. He gets the remote and he fixes it for me in 30 seconds. I'm not kidding you. Like these kids are really, really intelligent, and I just don't understand why, as a society, like why these kids just can never have an opportunity to actually succeed. Like think about this for example. I want to throw a few statistics. For example, in the whole global population, 1 to 3% of people on Earth have an intellectual disability. So that's about 200 to 300 million people in this world that have an intellectual disability. But I want to ask, like, the people who are watching this, like, how many of them are well known? How many of them are famous?
Right.
Like you see a few celebrities that are maybe on the spectrum, but how many of them that are fully autistic or fully have Down syndrome? How many of them are famous? Or how many of them have the opportunity to be famous and be well known in the world? There's none out there. And It's a shame that all these people, that they have the same dreams and aspirations as us. As soon as they're born, their aspirations and dreams, whatever they start thinking about that when you're 3-4 years old, you always dream big. That shit gets taken away from them right away just because they have that disability. And it's just not right.
It's not.
And there's a lot of people out there that they don't think they don't have much. People should really start thinking about, what do these kids got?
Right. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. You hit it right on the nail. Because I have family members that have special needs and everything, and I see the potential. So when you say that, these kids don't get that opportunity, it just sucks to see it and hear it, because we know, me and you know, because we're in that type of environment where we know that they do have that potential. And I just love the fact that you're building that opportunity for them. You're doing that for them. And like you said, you're even giving them an opportunity to possibly make money for them, but also their families. And like you said, the families also are dealt with, have to deal with this as well. And they have to struggle with it as well. So for them to have that opportunity to provide for the family is just awesome, man. That's awesome. So I just want to keep saying that I'm very proud of what you're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't ever stop. And you got Jones for Sports support all the way through, brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. What's crazy is like now, like when I'm at work and stuff like that, especially a lot of like kids that are special needs in the area that I live in, they know who I am and they know what I've been trying to do. So literally, I'll tell a quick story. What happened yesterday? This is a kid with autism. I don't know who he was. Came up to me, hugged me right away, asked for a picture. Right. So I took a picture with him and things like that. He goes, dude, you're going to be so famous one day. And like, he was pretty much like, I had to get a picture with you before TMZ starts following you.
Wow. That's awesome.
And the thing is, though, is like, I have a lot of friends and things like that. People have been in touch with me like, dude, like, you're going to be very successful, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not in this for the money.
Right.
Even if, let's say I do make a lot of money on this, whatever, like I'm going to be donating so much money to the special needs charities out there. Like I don't need it. Like I don't care if I make a penny out of this. I don't need to make money out of this. It's just a league like this should have happened a long time ago. Or, anything. It doesn't have to be just like a professional basketball league. There's just more opportunities just need to be there for them anyways. Like this league, like it's not just about the game of basketball, and the only reason why I picked basketball because it's the most popular sport for Special Olympics. And I've witnessed like my younger brother going out state a couple times to play basketball. And these kids are very talented. They're going behind the back, shooting threes, throwing behind the back passes. And, they're posting up, shooting fadeaway jumpers like they're Kristaps Porzingis and Dirk Nowitzki, all that stuff. Like, dude, like I've seen it. And I've seen the competition. And it's just like, these kids can play, but they just don't get the opportunity on a large platform. And you see with these high school like leagues, when they go downstate and things like that, you see 600-700 people in the crowd. And there's a lot of people there. And the coaches, the players, the fans are going nuts 24/7. Like there's not one part of the game when you don't hear anybody in the crowd screaming. Like they have the same competition level as like a regular high school varsity game or a college basketball game or, professionals either overseas or NBA, things like that. Like it's the same thing. So I just don't understand why this has never happened for them before. Like and what I mean by like it being like bigger than the game of basketball, like after like maybe other companies, other like big college universities can see what NABL's all about, they could give these kids more chances. I had a Zoom call with a couple NCAA coaches years ago because they've been so interested to hear about NABL and things like that. And I gave them like the whole outline of like what the plan is moving forward and things like that. And a lot of these NCAA coaches like Nick, to tell you the truth, like don't be shocked if in 5-10 years from now, you know, big universities are going to have Special Olympics teams where they could give these kids scholarships, give these kids athletic scholarships to be on the Special Olympics college teams. So he said, keep doing what you're doing because you could pave the way for a lot of special needs kids to be so successful in life. Because think about this, like after high school, their transition program, they stay in high school. They stay at the same place just to do transition school. Now they can take that and get special education professors and they can finish their transition programs at these universities while they could go hoop and actually have the experience to live that, you know, college lifestyle and have the opportunity to like live in like, you know, like be well known. Like I was a basketball player in college. Like, you know, there's a lot of people that know who you are because you're an athlete and things like that. And these kids deserve to have the opportunity to be very well known at whatever university they decide to play for and things like that.
Absolutely. 100%. 100%, man. Man, keep doing what you're doing. Let everyone know where they can find you, where they can find NABL, what social media platforms, all that.
Yeah. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you know, you type in, you know, National Ability Basketball League, you should be able to find it pretty easily, you know, or if you want to, you know, follow me on Twitter or Facebook, send me friend requests, things like that. You know, I'm just pop up in Nick Levere, you'll find me. And I always follow people back and things like that. I don't be doing people bogus like some people be doing out there. So
for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously you're going to be seeing his name and the NABL on the Jonesville Sports platforms a lot. So make sure when you see it, you go follow it because it's coming. It's coming. It's coming.
It's just a matter of when.
Just a matter of when,
man. Yeah.
So, Nick, thank you. Appreciate you coming on Jonesville Sports. You're always welcome. And like I said, Jonesville Sports has your back when it comes to NABL. We're going to support you guys no matter what, man.
I appreciate you so much. Yeah, I appreciate you so much for having me on again. Hey, we still got to, remember we talked about in the first time I was on, you know, maybe the next time I'm on, we got to have this LeBron Jordan GOAT talk.
We're going to do it before the playoffs starts. So we're going to do it coming up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No doubt.
Let's get it, baby. All right.
Let's get it.
Appreciate you, bro. Locker Room Sunday, Jonesville Sports. Peace.
Jonesville Sports. We make sports better.